Angusville. What kind of an area is it? Good farmland around here, Randy?
Yeah, I think for the most part it's fairly good farmland. We're a little bit east of Russell. The land that we have, our own stuff, seems very fertile and works good for what we do here. We're a straight grain farm, so for that aspect it works really well.
Yeah, you guys do a fair bit of farming in this area, and I think you said about was it 6,000 acres?
Yeah, just over the 6,000. Yeah, this spring we didn't seed all of it just because of the wet spring we had. So we have about 1,700 acres of summerfall that we left. So I think give or take 4,800 acres of crop this year. Strictly wheat and canola. We usually grow a little bit of flax, just because of the spring we didn't. And that's about it.
So are you a little late because of the excess moisture getting your crops in the spring here?
Yes, actually it's one of the latest springs in my years of farming that we've had. I don't think we started seeding until the middle of May, if that, maybe the 20th of May. And we finished on June 11th, I think. So that's very late. But we're harvested. We finished all our cereals last night, and we have a little bit of late canola that we're working on now, and actually the yield wise is quite surprising, I think.
What kind of yields are you looking at?
Well, I think for our cereals, I think we'd average the 45 to 50 bushels an acre. Canola, it's a lot wider. We've had some kind of disasters that have been in the teens, up to I think average maybe 35, somewhere in there, across the farm this year.
Any issues with disease in this area?
I don't think disease was a big issue. I think we lost more than what we maybe even realized, just due to the weather, more so the wet. Even though it did dry out later in the summer, I think the wet spring and wet June, that really affected things. We lost a lot of crop due to flooding later on in the season. So I think that affected more than what we realized.
And noting you had kind of a wet spring, I know you made a comment a little earlier that this is maybe the first year in a while that you haven't had to do any drying. So is that kind of surprising that it was wet in the spring, but now you're at this stage in the year and you're not doing any drying? In fact, you're cooling.
Yeah, it's very surprising.